What's up, everybody? So you're looking at a bunch of random stuff here, and this is kind of a little thing kind of geared towards players who have been in the hobby for a bit, basically pre-32mm bases. If you've been around in the hobby before that, then this is something that you might potentially find interesting if you haven't thought of it yourself already. And it could pertain to newer players. Maybe you found a deal online for some older kits or whatever the case may be, and got yourself some models that came with these guys. These 25 or 28mm bases, whatever you want to call it. These basically have been replaced by the 32mm base for a lot of models. All the models that I'm using, Space Marine stuff, basically use this. Unless they're Terminators, then they're on their 40mm bases. So, if you're like me, and you've been in the hobby for a bit before the 32mm bases came out, chances are a good deal of your force, if not your entire army, might actually be on these bases. And for me, that's exactly the case. So, what are you going to do with these bases? Well, you could throw them out, but to me it seems like kind of a waste. You could use them, stack them on top of a 32mm base to maybe make something, interesting to put a model on. That's an idea. You can do something like that and stack them around to kind of build up maybe a debris pile for terrain. Another idea. If you don't have any modeling sand or flock on them or anything, if you have blank bases, because you sometimes will get extra. I know in some of the old blisters or some of the old single model kits that came with these, you only needed one, but it came with like 4 or 5 because of how they were produced. So you might have some extra blank ones. You can take some blue tack and an old painter's pot, and now you have a little thing you can temporarily glue models onto to paint them. That's always something. But if they're actually based up and were used as bases, and apparently hard to hold on to, but if that's what they were, why not make little smoke plumes? I know a while ago I did a video showcasing how you could take some teacup candles, electric teacup candles, electronic ones I should say. So it's a little light, meant to look like a candle, and it flickers like a candle. But when you have it encapsulated by a whole bunch of cotton that you made to look like a smoke plume, then you hit it with some spray paint, it looks like it's a burning debris, and burning smoke and whatnot. Pretty cool, but they're pretty big, can be a little bit cumbersome. You might have to bring a little Tupperware container just to transport them around. And I don't have any of those with me. So I was thinking about that and thinking about these smaller bases. And I thought, why not do something like that, but instead of having it light up, you just have static little smoke plumes. And all it takes is an old base, not a 32mm base. If you really wanted to, you could do one of these sizes, but I'm talking about using up bases that really don't have a purpose anymore. At least, for me, and I think a lot of people out there want to have their models on the updated base. They stand nicer on it, they don't feel like they're crowded on the base. It just overall is a better base, in my opinion. I don't know why it took them so long to figure it out, but whatever. So you take an old 25mm base and you take one cotton swab, one cotton ball. You can just plop right on and glue, or you can kind of pull it around the edges and have it kind of semi do that and then come over. Basically, it just takes one cotton ball to cover the base. This was a base that I had fully done up to look kind of like a jungle-esque thing, even with like the little bush effect on there. I didn't take anything off. I just glued this over it. It covered everything. You can't see it. After I had the glue fully dry, I pulled on the cotton swab to kind of get it to feel kind of like a plume of smoke instead of just a ball of cotton. And then I just very quickly, without even really trying to get the effect to be quote-unquote more accurate, hit it with some black spray paint real quick without even really trying. And I got a pretty nice little convincing smoke plume there. Maybe the wind is blowing it or what have you. These, I think, could be pretty cool to make. They're fun, they're easy. You do need spray paint. I tried to see how this would soak up a normal oil wash, and it doesn't soak it up like I was hoping. I was hoping it would get into the fibers and kind of bleed into it and kind of pull like this, but maybe a little bit darker and have it splotchy. No, it just acts like paint on something and it doesn't work. So you are going to need a spray paint for it, but you just give it a quick little blast all around. It's virtually instantly dry because you're not saturating it, you're just kind of misting it. So there's no real waiting for it to dry before you can handle it. Just give it a few seconds, maybe a minute tops, and you can pick it up. And you can make a bunch of these in one go. So why make these? Well, you could accent terrain, you can accent a display board, you can use them as hull point damage markers. So instead of just keeping track of it normally, you could make one of these up and plop it on top of the vehicle when it's got damage of a hull point, it lost a hull point. And by the time it's destroyed, you just leave it there destroyed. What I used to do for vehicles that could is I would take the turret off, because I would include on the turret so the turret can move, and the turret off means it's destroyed, the vehicle. And you put this on top of that while doing that, or in place of doing that, you have a bunch of these on it, and it looks like a destroyed vehicle, because unless it's exploded, it basically stays there. So it just gives the illusion and cinematic effect of being a hulking, burning wreck, having some of these on top of it. Now, you don't have to add some dark orange or at the very bottom of it or whatnot. You could if you wanted to. It might look too silly and cheesy. If anything, you want the very bottom edges to be kind of a darker black. But it doesn't matter, as long as you kind of mist it like this, you got the effect going. But why stop at black paint? We have aliens. We have the warp, demons, psyker abilities and the like, and horrible dark age weapons of radiation, phosphex, and rad technologies and all that. So why not hit it with some purple, like a purple spray paint, or a dark green spray paint, or blue, representing maybe some warp energy misting out, or representing baleful, rotting Nurgle mists and whatnot coming out, or Tau, Xeno's crazy advanced technology. All their stuff shoots blue, uses blue to maneuver, whenever it comes out of the jets and whatnot, it's all blue energy and whatnot. So maybe it has this weird bluish tinge smoke going to it. Maybe you hit it with a lot of blue and a very minor bit of black to make it look smoky or whatnot. You can really experiment if you want to get crazy. But at the very basic, a little bit of black spray paint, old bases, and some cotton swabs, and you can make little smoke plumes that can be used to add a lot of effect to your army or to the game. You could also, for fun, let's say you had a model, I don't know, Fire Warrior or a Space Marine, Tactical Marine, or a Guardsman or what have you, and it gets hit like point blank by a melta blast, or a last cannon drills into it, just absolutely annihilates that one model. You could put this in its place. It's kind of like a joke, like you just got smoked and vaporized. Anyways, just some food for thought. So just wanted to share that. I'm sure you could find other things on the internet about doing stuff like this. I know I'm not the first one to think of it, but I was just thinking, how can I kind of recycle stuff I know I'm going to have extra of, especially when I start redoing my Dark Angels yet again. They're going to come off of these bases and go on to bases like this, so I'm going to have some excess of these. And like I said, you can use them to do a bunch of different things, but one of the things that I thought was kind of neat as of an idea that popped into my head was to make little smoke plumes. So that's the whole point of this ramble. Anyways, thanks for sticking through it. Any questions, comments, or requests, leave them in the comments section. And until the next one, take it easy.